Well, hello and welcome to this month's One Simple Thing. So each month this year, I've been sharing one simple thing that you can try in your family to just help your family be a little happier and more connected. And one thing that's making me really happy this weekend is that I am actually at a little conference retreat with my daughter, Gretchen. So in a minute, I'm going to have her introduce herself, but we're going to actually share this month's One Simple Thing together. So anyway, this is Gretchen. She's my oldest. Oh, let me introduce myself first. If we haven't met before, my name is Audrey Monkey, and I've been a summer camp director for more than 30 years. And at my website, Sunshine Parenting, in my writing, and on my podcast, I just like to share things that I've learned through all my years of working with the campers at camp and the young adult counselors and all the parents. I really enjoyed trying to take the things that I've learned through summer camp and apply them both in my own family and share them with other people. And one of the main underlying things that I like to share is how to just make life a little more fun and happy and connected. So that's why this year, starting in January, I've been sharing each month just a quick, simple tip that does not require that much work on your behalf because it's already so busy, that you can try in your family. So anyway, I'm going to have Gretchen, my oldest daughter, introduce herself, and then we'll share our tip for this month.
Hi, I'm Gretchen, and I live in the Bay Area in California. I'm excited to be here with my mom this weekend. And I am a high school English teacher. I have a master's in teaching, and this is my second year. And I love working with adolescents, and I really love focusing on friendship skills in my classroom. So that's something we share and love to talk about together.
Yes. In fact, we love talking about this stuff so much that this weekend we're actually at a whole conference dedicated to friendship. We're here with Shasta Nelson, who she has this whole website and program called Girlfriend Circles. And it started as a way for women to find other women friends, whether or not, you're moving to a new place or just wanting to see kind of closer connections. She has all these tools and ideas and ways to get, especially women, together. And so we both heard her speak at a different event that we attended. We're at the 1440, by the way, Multiversity. We're advertising for 1440 right now. And it's this retreat center in Santa Cruz Mountains, and they have different workshops and programs. And so Shasta was doing this one on friendship. And so I was like, got to go see that. That would be fun. It was a great idea for me as like a post-camp sort of something just for myself for some learning. And then I asked Gretchen, and she has similar interests to mine. And so we decided to meet here, and it's just been fun. We're meeting some other women in the group, and also both of us are getting ideas from Shasta and this workshop that we can apply back in our other jobs and life.
Yeah, I'm excited to take what I've learned here and use it in my classroom this week. It's our second week back at school, so we're doing a lot of icebreaker activities, and I'm trying to structure it so that kids have different ways that they can get to know each other and feel comfortable in the class.
And I've already written about Gretchen in the post that I shared, again, I think last week or the week before, about ways that teachers can help kids connect with other kids. I think it's so important that teachers think of themselves, especially at the beginning of the year, more like camp counselors. And the focus really at the beginning of the year needs to be on helping the kids feel connected to you as the teacher, and also just helping kids know the kids sitting next to them. Because if you're going to ask them to do a project together, they need to first feel like they know this other person. If you don't know who you're going to eat lunch with or who you're going to talk to, there's no way you're going to have the capacity to start absorbing any learning or information. So anyway, I've written a lot about the connection thing, and I use Gretchen as my example because her background, she grew up going to camp. And so her whole life was about connection and these campfires, chats and everything. And so I've just loved seeing how the way you've applied it at school. That's why you have these kids come into your classroom every morning to hang out with you and during lunch and after school.
I think my teaching program definitely taught me a lot of good teaching content knowledge, but I think what's been even more valuable is my experience at camp. And through camp, I've been able to learn these friendship skills, and, you can apply those anywhere.
Yeah. And I just love, I'm just going to brag about her for a little bit longer, but her students from last year are still coming into her classroom before school, during lunch, after school, because they feel a connection with her. And that, to me, what you're going to want kids to learn from high school and what you want them to remember is it's the relationship stuff so much more. So I love that not only are you teaching kids English, but you're also just teaching them these life skills that they can use beyond the classroom. So anyway, we decided for our one simple thing for this month, we were reminded actually at our session this morning we're at the Frientimacy conference, it's called, with Shasta Nelson. And she reminded us about what's called the magic relationship ratio. And I had heard about this and I've learned about it before, but I hadn't thought about it lately. And I believe it started with the Gottman Institute, and it was mostly focused on marriages. And what they can do is assess based on your interactions with your spouse. The ratio of negative versus positive interactions is predictive of how strong and good the relationship is. And so the ratio, and it works with friendships, it works with parents with their kids, which is what we're going to kind of talk about in terms of your family. It's 5-to-1, which means that when you're thinking about like your typical, say, teenage adolescent kid at home as a parent or in a classroom, they need to hear 5 good things from you for every one sort of corrective or, let's say, negative or naggy type of thing.
And I think it's hard because you have to be more intentional about saying the positive things. We often think to correct kids right away, but where are those opportunities for connection and positive feedback?
Yes. And I know there's some quote that I'm going to butcher right now, but it's that thing about the kids who are most unlovable need the most love. And I think this stands true with this thing too. Like oftentimes when kids are kind of at their low point, and sometimes kids go through a time where they're adolescents where they sort of, maybe their interactions with you aren't super positive always. But we as parents can really keep up the positive side of the interaction by just finding those things that you want to point out, whether it's their, oh, I love your sense of humor. Really made me laugh this morning when we were like running out the door and it was all crazy, or just finding those things to point out so that your kids feel like you see the good things in them, even though there are some things that maybe need correction. So at school, like what are some things that you do to like point out positive stuff with kids?
So at school, I'll definitely give a lot of positive feedback before any constructive feedback. I have the kids do a lot of sharing with each other and with the class. And every time a student shares something they've written, I always say something positive about that, regardless of their writing ability. So acknowledging the student and making sure that they feel seen and heard by you.
Yeah, that's so good. I think at home, one of the ways that you can kind of keep the positivity going is by having, and I've already talked about this other months, just if you have some forum that's every day that is a time where you're sharing, and even if you're just sharing like something that went well today or something that you're proud of from this week, or a time when you demonstrated kindness to somebody else. If you keep those conversations going where your kids have the opportunity to share and you have the opportunity to share about positive things that have happened or that you've done, then I think the conversations can end up going in a more positive direction. I just feel like, I know I've gotten into the rut sometimes with my kids, just like asking them about what homework they have, or just things that maybe aren't really the best topics to discuss. Whereas if you say like, oh, did you and your friends talk about anything funny today? Or, what's the latest meme that everyone's laughing about? I mean, that's a big thing right now with kids.
I know with my younger brothers, something they're always interested in is sharing the newest YouTube video with us.
Yes.
So, it might not be something that we would necessarily watch, but showing enthusiasm about what they have to share with us and what they're bringing to the table.
Yeah. And complimenting them on just what they're sharing and how they're doing. Okay. Wait, do you see who's here?
Yes, I know.
So this is really
my
fun.
Peruvian mom.
Yes. So Gretchen did an exchange program, or not an exchange. Explain what you did.
I went to Peru for one summer in high school, and we did a backpacking trip and we got to hike the Machu Picchu Trail. And then I also lived with a host family in Peru, and I haven't talked to my host mom in a while, but she's here today watching this video. So.
I know. So it's lovely to see you. Well, except we don't get to see you, but thank you for coming, and so much fun. you know, I got off track because I saw her there. but anyway, I see some little love things popping up too. And look,
my sister.
Yeah, this is so fun. We're just seeing all kinds of friends. Yeah. Hi, Shar. Good to see you too. Anyway, so this positivity ratio, the magic relationship ratio, really can be applied to every relationship that we have. This weekend, we're talking about it in terms of friendships, how you don't really want to spend, even when you think about what topics you discuss, like if you have something difficult going on in your life, you can, yes, you want to share that with your friends, but you don't want your whole conversation to be on a negative topic. So it's not just in terms of like how many positive things you say about the other person versus criticism. It's also in general, how do you spend your time when you're with that person? Because you want people to leave whatever situation feeling better than when they got there. And if you are spending the whole time complaining or sharing like the worst of the worst, they're not going to really feel that inspired to hang out with you. And I think with kids, it's the same way. Are they going to want to hang out with you or with your family if all you want to talk about is their SAT prep or their homework,
the project they haven't started?
Yeah, or their procrastination or that kind of thing. Instead, if you can just flip the script a little bit and really focus on making sure that more of the time you're together is you're laughing, you're having fun, there's some positive feelings going on, so that then you've kind of built up this equity that you can mention something that they could work on. So I don't know. Well, it's so fun. I guess maybe because it's a Saturday. Usually I don't do these on a Saturday, but it's kind of fun. More of you have showed up today, so it's fun. Does anyone have any other suggestions in the comments? You could share something of the way you can kind of bring more positivity to your families or to your other relationships. You know, are there any ideas out there that you guys want to share? Because we're happy to share them on here. And then we can, when I write up the blog post next week that goes along with this, I can quote you and use your input. So if anyone wants to share anything, it's so fun to see so many of the people who have brought a lot of positivity to our lives here with us today on the thing. Anyway, it's been fun. I actually enjoy doing these a lot more when I have a buddy with me, and it's fun to have my original daughter buddy Gretchen with me today, and we both try to be positive people and share positive things. And this has been a good reminder for us today, just going to this session and remembering that in all of our relationships with kids, with your students, to just remember to keep that 5-to-1 positive ratio. So thank you for joining us today. If you have any suggestions or comments, you can say, you can join them here. Oh, and we have some great input from Porter, AKA Quarter, to live in the moment and be present. And that is truly something that now we all need to work on and master. And you're so right that you're not laughing and enjoying yourself if you're worrying about what the next thing is on your to-do list.
And you're not walking away from a meeting with a friend and feeling positive about it if you're on your phone the whole time.
Right. Or if they were like more interested in something on their phone than you. Yeah. So I agree. Porter, good one. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for contributing today. And everyone, go out and have a great Labor Day weekend. And with school starting and kind of the changes in your schedule, sometimes this can be a time that's not as positive in your family, but I think you can really focus on just keeping some fun and positivity, and it will make your month and the start of school a lot better. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll be back next month with another tip, and I'll share in the notes to all the previous ones. So if you want to look back at some of the ones we did earlier in the year. And if you don't already subscribe to my email, I send out an email every week with the link to my newest podcast episode and any posts or interesting articles, books, just related things. So please subscribe to my email if you're interested in hearing more about that. It's at sunshine-parenting.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.